All right, so it's time for this week's Poorly Edited video. And we're gonna do a little check-in on when the primary reptile keeper is out of the house for a little bit. Abby is in Baltimore on work for, this is now the second week in a row. What should the secondary reptile keeper remember to check just to make sure everybody is all happy, healthy, nothing unexpected happened? The first thing that we did was create these, which is a little template for reptile kind of care to do stuff. I say we, really I created it because boy howdy do I love a to-do list. Typically, the biggest thing on the to-do lists is changing waters. And we do this every other day, maybe every 3 days if it's a bit of a stretch or for some reason we can't get to somebody's water. But checking water is an important thing. Oh, hi April, sorry. I didn't mean to hit that so hard. My bad. So checking water is an important thing for two reasons. Thing number one is water is absolutely the most important thing that you need to make sure your animals have at all times. But number two is if you poke your head into a tank and you go to take their water out, chances are that's when you're also going to notice maybe some other things that need to happen, things that you can't see or notice quite as easily when the tank doors are closed. I will give you some examples. Example number one, last night when I was changing Twee's water, I noticed he had pooped on his water bowl. Not in, on. In would have been very easy to notice. On, he kind of put it like in between his water bowl and like a piece of cork bark and a plant. So I might not have noticed. I did not actually open the tank to go in and actually do things. I look for is kind of differences in condensation in things. So like this glass, kind of smudged and dirty a little bit from the inside because that's Chihaya for you. But this glass, all kinds of foggy up in here. I don't know what Centauri did. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just open her tank up. Take a look, see what we've got going on. And I think what we're gonna find is, yes, look, her water level, super low. She apparently decided to go swimming today. I literally just changed her water yesterday. But so the condensation on the tank is a good indication that maybe the humidity is a little too high in there, and either there's a reason why she spilled her water, she peed something, and I'm gonna need to do something about that, or maybe it just needs to be aired out a little bit. So what I'll do if there's too much condensation on the tank is just open the door, let her hang out. We have little kind of climbing stuff, like this tree right here that we can put in front of the tank. So if she is feeling explory and wants to come out on a kind of choice-based level, you see her? She's thinking about it. She can kind of come out and climb on that tree. If not, she can just chill out in her tank and get some fresh air while it airs out. Something else that we can do, if the humidity is a little bit high in here, Alexa, run the snake fans. Did you hear that? So all of our snake fans are on smart plugs, so that, number one, they run 3 times a day automatically all the time. But if it's a little humid and it's a hot summer day right now, it's a little humid and we need to kick it on for a little bit of extra air circulation, we've just got a smart routine. I kick it on, I can walk away, and then it'll shut off in 30 minutes and I don't have to remember to come back down and turn it off. Next thing that I look for is anyone giving me signs that they're getting a little cabin fevery. Are they pushing on the seam between their doors? Are they just up against their glass? I don't know who might do that kind of a thing, but I don't know, maybe it's possible. And if they're showing signs that they want some outside enrichment time, then it's time to give them a little exercise. And indeed, she is like, yeah man, it's too muggy in here. Give me some fresh air. One other thing that I also look at is my thermostats. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna compare 3 things here. Number one, what is my set point? That's the top right number. Number 2, what is my probe reading at? That's the bottom left number. And 3, the bottom right is the percentage of the kind of the dimmer setting of how high my RHP is dialed up. If my probe is reading colder than my set point and my RHP is dialed way up to 100% and I'm still not hitting my set point, it may mean that my RHP has gotten unplugged by some active snake critters, and I need to go into that tank to plug it. Is particularly well known for unplugging her RHP. And in fact, let's look. Yep, sure enough, you unplugged it. Can I plug that back in? You need it. Can you not decide? Okay. Well, you can hang out there if you want. Next up, remember that snakes have a stigma, right? People think that snakes represent evil. So, make sure you're not letting your animals actually do anything evil. Have they fallen in with a bad crowd? Have they committed grand theft auto? Are they planning a bank heist? Is one of their new friends a well-known fence in the stolen art world? Are they spending a lot of time on their computer trying to hack banks? Have they asked you about opening an offshore account? All of these things are pretty significant warning signs. Also, make sure you know how to mix more cleaner if you need it. That's important too. So she's just chilling there. Hasn't gone anywhere, just getting some fresh air. In the choice-based world, this is me offering her enrichment and her being like, meh. And so I'm just leaving her door open, letting her get some fresh air, and I'm walking around doing the rest of my chores. Now, don't do that with an animal whose activity levels and body language you aren't already familiar and comfortable with, right? Centauri is, one of the animals that I became most comfortable with most quickly, and so I'm comfortable with that. But as a secondary caretaker of these animals, right, Abby is the primary, I need to make it my business to learn about them and get comfortable with them when Abby is here, when I have backup, so that in times like this, when she's not here, I feel comfortable and I know how to react to what Centauri is doing right now, which is ostensibly nothing at all. But I mean, she's a snake, so that can change on a dime. All right, thing number 12. 12? 4? I've lost count. Next thing is keep an eye on your kiddos who are in shed. Know where they are in their shed cycle and what you're looking for. So he's been in blue for a little bit. It looks like he's just kind of coming out of blue, losing a little bit of that white cast. So what I'm gonna look for now is to make sure that, if he sheds, that I'm checking him, making sure that it was a complete shed, there's nothing stuck. If he needs a soak, we'll give him a soak. But that's the thing to keep an eye on. Make sure you're kind of keeping tabs on where they are in their shed cycle. Snake trying to learn to pick a lock. If so, that is another warning sign of potential criminality. Here's a sign your animal might want some privacy. Have they found a way to move their fake flowers in front of their hide like they are closing the door? Are you being an angsty teen and going to your room and slamming the door shut? The thing that's important to know, is your animal's feeding schedules so that you know who is okay to come out for enrichment time and who needs to just chill, bask, and digest. Whatever the system of record that your primary caretaker in the house uses, a notepad, a whiteboard, we do it in a little kind of custom database that I created. It's my job as the secondary caretaker to understand that system and what it means to the animals so that I can know how to treat them accordingly. All of the babies just ate yesterday. It is not playtime for them, so I'm gonna hang out with Aries, let him do his thing, let them digest. He actually goes with this outfit really nicely. Something else that I try to think about is what are the ways that I can make maybe a small change to my day-to-day routine that can make a big difference for the animals. Now this is the snake room, it's down in our basement. I work from home, but I work upstairs. But Abby's desk is right here. Could I bring my laptop down and if Aries is bouncing off the walls, just take a meeting from down here, open up his tank behind me and let him just run around? Sure. Would it freak out all of my coworkers? Not all of them, but it would make a big difference for Aries. He has a lot of energy, he needs to burn it off. And then the last thing that you do before you leave the snake room when your chores are done, no matter what, always do this, every time. Locked, 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 locked. I didn't even open any of these tanks, but I am still gonna go through and check every single tank in the room to make sure that they are all locked, that everyone's doors are closed, and and that everybody is safe and secure, so that the last thing I do before I leave the room is make sure that every single one of our animals are safe and secure inside their tanks, and we are good to go. Last night, I forgot to do that check on every single one of the tanks before I left the snake room. Were any of the doors open? No. Were any of them unlocked? No. But I was upstairs in bed going, crap, did I forget to lock any of the tanks? So I came back downstairs at midnight to double check, make sure every single one of the tanks were locked. Doing it as a routine, the whole way through the room, every single tank lets you know confidently, okay, I've double checked everybody is safe.